Hello there, you glorious morons. It is Victor, King of the Morons, with a little update on this Julien Blanc, what do you want to call it? Drama, here he goes. Okay, so I don't know who did this. A few days ago, someone on change.org started up this page to cancel Julien Blanc's and RSD seminars. Take down Julien Blanc, okay? And check this out. So here it is. You see the number there? 13,844. Okay, now that number has been refreshed. I mean, that number has gone up like 400 in the last 30 minutes. I'm refreshing the page now. Let's see, 844 is now, look, 30 in just a minute. It's amazing. So people are just jumping on that. Now, when someone told me about that, okay, I let them post, someone spammed my video with that link, and I was like, whatever, sure, okay. I don't care, that's fine. Good for you. Apparently, they succeeded. So I don't know if I can do this correctly, but on the iPhone here. But yeah, according to the heraldsun.com AU, Julien Blanc, social dynamics dating coach, slammed for promoting sex abuse tactics in Melbourne. A Melbourne hotel has ditched a dating coach who brags about choking women following a storm of outrage and concerns. Julien Blanc was promoting domestic violence. So they canceled his, he was going to give a seminar at the South Yada's Como Hotel. So it's South Yada Como Hotel. Good job, guys. Now, when I made my video, as I told you in the video, you know, I was like, well, you can't, what do you know? He's just, you can't really, you know, what, arrest a guy for being an asshole, right? But I don't know, a lot of people are like, well, maybe it's sexual abuse. Maybe it's that kind of harassment, that level of harassment is considered abuse by many people, but I don't know what the authorities in Japan would say. We were talking about this yesterday, and some of my friends were like, if you show that to Japanese cops, they'd probably laugh. But I don't know, a lot of Japanese women who have talked to are disgusted by it. I looked a little bit more into this, and apparently he charges $3,000 per person. And here's the thing, if you take his seminar and you pay $3,000, of course you're going to, I mean, you're already committed, you already spent $3,000, right? So of course you're going to be like, yes, it's got to work because you paid so much money. You know, you already invested. So I can understand how people are defending him because, you know, they invested all this money into it. Personally, I have seen a couple other videos, and he does have a lot of good things to say. I'll admit that. There's nothing wrong with a lot of the things he says. You know, just like Hitler wasn't, you know, he had some nice paintings and he was nice to his dog. Now, of course, I shouldn't have gone to Hitler. I'm sorry, I went to Hitler already. That's just the internet doing that to me. But any bad person, of course, has some good things to say. Any person has good and bad. Let's forget about good and bad. But every person in the world has done good and has done bad. But you got to know, if you're on the internet, or hell, in life, if you're a public figure, people will focus on the bad. So for those of you who are watching this and you're thinking, why am I doing these drama videos? Well, not so much that, I mean, yeah, he's a scumbag and there's scumbags everywhere, but the thing is, he's charging people to be like him, to teach them how to be like this, and I think that's just the wrong message to give young men. Of course, you can blame the women for not doing anything about it, but see, the thing is, in Japan, women aren't equipped, generally speaking, to deal with this kind of asshole, this level of assholeness. This is more like New York. I mean, New York women, I think, would have more trouble. He would have more trouble with women from New York City. But again, you know, this is a kind of thing that will last maybe a generation, and then people will figure it out, and it'll be a running joke. It's going to be a joke. Like people are going to pick up on all these techniques. It's going to be parodied, and people will understand it. It'll be harmless in a couple of years because no one will take them seriously anymore. If you want to meet women, there are a lot of ways to do that. I wouldn't say just grabbing women's heads and throwing them on the crotches is the best way to do it. And also, it's, you know, I don't understand how if you do that kind of shit, how you can live with yourself. I mean, that's just disgusting. I mean, yeah, everyone wants to get nasty, right? But you want to get nasty with someone who wants to get nasty with you, not that way. You don't want to force people. I don't know. Anyway, there was something else about, yes, going back to this. Here's the thing about this guy. He may have done a lot of good, with a lot of good advice, a lot of people, helped a lot of people become more confident. But in the end, you are remembered for your steps, your missteps, your pitfalls, your putting your foot in your mouth, you know, the mistakes you make. The classic example, of course, is Clinton, who was beloved as a president until the Monica Lewinsky scandal. And you may say, you may have forgotten about it, but a lot of people haven't, and that will probably stain his legacy forever. You know, no matter, you know, all that good that he did as president, whatever, if you do agree, you know, we could disagree on that, but people will always go back, haters and people who want to criticize him and take away from all the good he has done can easily do so just by mentioning the Lewinsky scandal. And the same thing with this guy. So yeah, you can be a PUA and pick up a lot of girls and have a lot of sex with a lot of different girls, and you may feel good about yourself, but you know, in the end, you're going to be defined by a lot of people by the scummy shit that you did. So you should remember that. Anyway, here's the thing. The other thing I want to mention. People have asked me, "Well, can we get him banned from Japan or stop him from getting to Japan?" And I actually know a little bit about this. You cannot stop him at immigration unless you have his real name, and nobody has his real name. So I guess he's a smart guy. If someone had his real name and they reported it to immigration, you know, I know this guy at immigration who could do something, but you know, I don't have his real name, and to be honest, I'm not going to go search for it. So that idea is not going to work. Anyway, for those of you who are interested in that, I would say if you do see him in Tokyo, you know, I don't know, catcall him. You know, just yell some shit at him. Don't get violent. I'm not saying you should be violent, though. If I saw him doing this to someone who didn't like it, I would probably step in. Avoid violence at all costs in Japan if you are a foreigner, especially because if two foreigners get into a beef in Japan, you're both going to look bad, and the Japanese police will probably hassle both of you, and it's really not worth the hassle with Julien. Just maybe try to stop him or something, but definitely don't get violent. That's I guess all I got to say about this. This is a quick, unedited upload there to tell you I'll give you an update on what happened. But the good news, like I said, is that they have canceled his seminar, which, you know, I'm sure he's got these guys, they have their own network. I'm sure they're going to find some asshole who's willing to lend them some space so they can have their seminar. They can collect all that money from all those poor suckers who never got around to developing a personality. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for all the support in the last video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.